Hi everybody, this is Dr. D coming from you from my kitchen right now. Of course, Life Enhancing Wellness Center in Ruckersville, Virginia. We're going to be making St. Patrick's Day waffles. We're going to be doing a healthy waffle. I'm going with gluten-free flours just because I try to keep my wheat load down, even though I'm not really gluten sensitive. But I notice as I get older, if I eat less wheat, that I don't get bloat and my digestive system works better, and the products, the foods taste just as good. So I'm going with gluten-free this morning. We're going to make these St. Patrick's Day waffles. We've got our secret green ingredient here called chlorella. Chlorella is basically an algae, a seaweed kind of thing, and it's a really good antioxidant, and it is excellent for detoxing and pulling heavy metals out of the system. So without further ado, we're going to get started. We've got our waffle maker plugged in. It's warming up. I like my waffles crispy on the outside, a little moist on the inside, so I have a setting on my waffle iron I can do that with. Maybe yours does, or just set it the way it goes. I'm going to start out with basically I've got a cup of gluten-free flour, and I'm using the Pillsbury brand. It's less expensive than the other flours, the Red Mills and stuff. I've used those. This all comes out great with those as well. I'm going to kind of bolster this flour mix just a little bit with what I like. I'm going to use a half a cup of almond flour, organic of course. And I'm going to put a little bit, about a half a cup of coconut flour, also organic, in there. Now when you're using coconut flour, that's our dog playing, unfortunately, pardon the noise. So basically, hold on, let me get you over the dog. There you go, distractions, home videos, right? Alright, so the waffle iron is nice and hot. It's ready ahead of schedule. So I've got 2 cups of flour in here. Again, if you're using all-purpose flour, that's fine. Don't worry about it. It works just as well. I'm going to use a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add, basically, I'm going to add a teaspoon and a half of baking powder. Give my waffles a little bit of fluff. Cool. And I'm going to add my eggs. Hopefully some of you were out here in the country. You'll notice I've got 2 different eggs. Why is that? Because we've got our own chickens, and so we get farm fresh eggs from our own chickens, and we have different kinds of chickens out there, and each one lays a different style egg because of their breeds. The bigger extra large egg and the one regular size egg kind of work for this recipe. And then at this point I'm going to add a little bit of Greek yogurt. For my recipe, I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt, just kind of give it a little bit of a tang. Alright, get that out of the way. Then we're going to go with milk. Now on your milks, you can go, if you want to go dairy-free, you can use the almond milks, cashew milks. They all work. They are going to be a little bit thinner, even with the yogurt in there. Now I have just put yogurt in there, so it's not dairy-free. I'm going to mix it up because I kind of like the flavor of the almond milk. So I'm going to go with about half a cup of almond milk. And see how much regular milk I've got for just a little bit extra body, extra fat. And I've got half a cup of regular milk, and this is almost empty. So I'm just going to use it up. As you can tell, this is an exact recipe, so I got a cup and a half of milk in there, right? Very good. Get my whisk. Cool. We're going to whisk this up. Try not to make too much of a mess. Whisk slowly. I'm trying to do this video as quick as possible so you guys can get on with your Facebook Lives. Now when you first mix up just that amount of liquid, it's going to actually be a little bit thick. This is not consistency for waffle batter. So I'm going to thin the rest down with water, and for my sweetness, I'm going to actually use honey. We've got some honey here from a local beekeeper, friend of ours. She has hives, and I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of honey. Made a mess, and of course when it's dripping on the container you have to clean it properly. Very good. That honey's in there. We'll drop it in the sink. We're going to add a little bit of water. Got some good water from my well. Goes through a filter out there to pull any junk from the farmer's fields out of the water. And we're just going to start mixing this. Now, coconut flour really loves moisture, so it's deceiving. When you use coconut flour, sometimes you got to use a little bit more liquid than you would think. My lovely wife taught me that. Through, and see, we're needing just even more water, so that was a half a cup. I'm going to put another half a cup of water in there just to do this a bunch. Stir this up, try to not get it all over me or the counter. And we're starting to get a nice batter. Good. Now at this point, I've got a decent batter. I'm going to put in my St. Patrick's Day ingredient, my chlorella. I'm going to use approximately a teaspoon. This is not an official measuring spoon, but it's close enough. So I'm going to use some nice dark green powder. And the chlorella, even though it has that kind of vegetable flavor and smell by itself, in a batter like this, it does not really add any flavor. It is adding some great health benefits. Like I said, chlorella is great for detoxing, pulling out heavy metals. And it's going to make my batter a lovely green. Ta-da! St. Patrick's Day waffle batter. There you go. Here's a little bit more water. So I probably got a cup and a half of water in there on top of the cup of milk, between the almond milk and the regular cow's milk. You can do this with goat's milk, but goat's milk tends to be very strong, will give a, quote, goaty or aromatic flavor. So if you're into that, that's wonderful. If you're not, do not use goat's milk. All right, there we go. We got a nice batter. It just kind of comes off the... Okay, so we've got our batter. Got my waffle iron. Use just a little bit of some cooking spray. Just going to spray with just some your basic non-stick kind of sprays. And this is a small ladle, as you see. I like to use a heaping one. It usually fills my waffle iron good. And I'm going to press that down. And just because the batter is spreading out right now will puff up your waffle maker for about the first 20 seconds. I tend to put a little pressure on it so it forces the waffle batter to go out in all the little crevices. If you've ever eaten breakfast at the hotels, you'll notice the waffle iron there has the little clamp to squeeze it shut to accomplish the same thing. Your home waffle irons don't have that clamp, so I'm using my hand. So there, about 20 seconds. So that's held. So right now we're just going to basically wait for the waffle iron to do its thing and cook this St. Patty's Day waffle up. And again, you'll notice this nice green batter. So that's my St. Patrick's Day recipe. We should be done in about a minute here, and I will sign off. And hopefully all you folks out there have gotten some information and had some fun with this recipe this morning from Dr. D. All right, and just if you kind of notice behind me, kind of zoom in a little bit here, Rob. I've got, for all you guys that do my nutrition response testing program, you know, you guys complain about the number of vitamins that you have to take. This is actually my personal program that I take about 3 times a day. I've got some standard processed products, some UNS sugar and cholesterol products, and some Pharmanex, basically metabolism and green tea products, and something called lauricidin, which is kind of really great for the immune system and everything. So, so don't complain about your nutrition programs being really too big, because Dr. D is doing the same thing. And as soon as I'm done here, this all gets, and I eat this waffle, it's going to all get written in my diet diary. So keeping up all my information, just like I ask you guys to do when we're doing our nutrition testing and programs where we're monitoring everything. So this waffle's just about done. This is steam coming off the waffle iron, not smoke. And let's see, we're going to need a plate. We're going to need a fork. I'm going to put a little bit of butter and nice organic maple syrup from Vermont on this. And that's what I like on my waffles. I'm just waiting. Steam it up. And it beeped. It's all done. So pull that up, and then there you go. If you want to look there, we got this really great waffle here. It has a little bit of a green tint, and you can see how it comes out. Good and waffly. So I'm going to just taste a little piece here. Excellent. A little bit of butter for moisture and maple syrup. You got a great breakfast. And of course you can add a little vegetable protein powder to this if you want to beef it up and make a protein waffle. I just kind of went with the basic today. So this is Dr. D signing off. Everybody have a great St. Patrick's Day. Bye-bye.